2023 has been calling your name, and it says it's time for a credit score makeover. And of course, you're saying, I feel the need for speed.
I feel the need for speed.
Well, strap in, Maverick, because we're about to take off. My name is Dominic Jackson, co-owner and CEO of Guaranteed Financial Consulting. Today, I'm going to be your Yoda, here to guide you step by step to fixing your credit score in 2023. And it's a quest not unlike Frodo's in Lord of the Rings. Challenging, but epic. Step 1, understand your credit report. Have you ever felt like Neo in Matrix, confused by the world around you?
Oh, you're confused.
You're confused.
That's probably how you feel about your credit report. So let's decode this matrix together. So let's discuss the credit report and how it breaks down. Typically, your credit report is going to consist of 5 main sections. The first of that being personal information or personal identifiers. This is where your name will be, social security, sometimes phone numbers, addresses, employment information, and that's going to be your personal identifiers or personal information section. Oftentimes in the next section, you may find public information, although sometimes that may be listed lower, but public information such as child support, bankruptcies, judgments, things of that nature will be listed under the public information section. You also will have your credit history section where your information on your trade accounts are going to be listed. Both negative and positive trade accounts are going to be listed under your credit information section. You will also have your credit inquiry section. That's where all of the inquiries are going to be listed. There again are soft and hard inquiries. Typically, depending on the credit report you're looking at, you're only going to see your hard inquiry section as far as those creditors who were actually given permission to run your credit. Another section you're going to see are your public statements. So if you have made a personal statement regarding anything on your credit report, you're going to see that section in there as well. Maybe you want to put a statement out there that you did not pay something late and you have disputed it and you want to put that information in there as to why. Or maybe you put a statement out there that you want them contacting you before your credit is allowed to be pulled. Either way, you can put a personal statement on your credit report. Another section in the credit report you can see is all the information of the creditors listed in your credit report, how to contact, like their name and the address and telephone number where they can be reached as well. So those are kind of the different sections that you will find in a credit report. So in step 2, let's focus on disputing errors on your credit report. Much like Buzz Lightyear's assertion that he can fly
to infinity and beyond. Thank you all, thank you.
That wasn't flying, that was falling with style.
There probably can be and are errors in your credit report. Therefore, it's time to yell, "That's not flying, that's falling with style," and set the record straight. Now, when it comes to disputing errors on your credit report, the first and foremost place that I always recommend you start is with personal information. Personal information is extremely important when it comes to correcting and disputing things on your credit report. Why? Because personal information is attached to each of these accounts. And in the era we live in, with identity theft and fraud being one of the top, if not the number one crime in America, we want to make sure that we do not give anyone or the ability to get access to our information from old, outdated information. Therefore, we are going to want to address and make sure that they clean up this information and take it off our credit reports. They should only have current, updated, and correct information, not outdated information, according to the FCRA. So in the next section, we're going to move on to our actual accounts. This is where we're going to actually audit our credit report. You're going to look through each account to see where the errors are. How is it being reported? Do the dates match between Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion? Do the balances match? Does the late payment history match? Where can I find those errors in how it's being reported here, here, and here? Are they congruent?
Different.
Oftentimes, when you see a 630 credit score, a 700 credit score, and a 590 credit score, somewhere along the line, information is being miscued, is incorrect. It could be somebody reported here, didn't report here. That's possible. But oftentimes it's because one of them or multiple of them are reporting incorrect information, or they're reporting information differently. And that's where it's important to make sure that you are monitoring that and watching that. But in this case, you're going through each trade line and you're looking all three and you're verifying the information all the way down. You're finding out what needs to be corrected. Why is it off? Why is TransUnion reporting this, but Equifax reporting this? That should not be, okay? So that's where we're going to start addressing those things. And you're going to want to make sure that you know how it's actually affecting your overall credit score. Remember, we talked about the 5 different factors of a credit score. So you don't want to try to get something removed from your account. It may just need to be updated because that account could be giving you great scoring history, okay? So you need to make sure you audit your file and know exactly what you're going to do. For more detailed information, please make sure you reach out to us. We'll be happy to assist you in that area. But make sure you're going through each trade line in this section and you're marking things up so that you know exactly. You're going to go line by line, trade line by trade line to know what's being reported. And you'll notice that even positive accounts, you're going to see different information. You're going to find errors on the report, even though it's never been a negative account. So therefore, we know that these errors exist and they are there. So make sure you look for those. In step 3, you have to prioritize on-time payments. Being late might have worked for White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland.
So late. I'm so very, very late.
But in the real world, it can wreck your credit score. So let's not be late for this very important date, your bill payment. When it comes to disputing and correcting errors and addressing your credit score, you have to make sure that you are making payments on time. This is an extremely important step. When we work with clients, we let them know if they're not able to make their payments on time, there's no reason in addressing anything, because current pay history is going to be a major factor in correcting things and helping boost and build the momentum. It's kind of like that snowball. You're taking care of negative things, you're getting those errors off of your credit report. But if you're not building momentum by making positive payments so that then the snowball starts rolling, then it's going to be next to impossible. And matter of fact, you may end up going the opposite way because you're constantly late. So you want to make sure that those on-time payments is a priority when you take this step. This is the need for speed. Step 4 is reduce credit utilization. You remember that scene in Willy Wonka where Augusta Gloop fell into the chocolate river because he couldn't control himself?
Do that! Don't do that! You're contaminating my entire river! Please, I beg you, Augustine! My chocolate!
That's you with your credit card. So let's learn how to keep credit utilization low. Now, I've often talked about credit utilization and some strategies that you can use, but remember, your goal should be at a minimum 30%. Again, what I mean by utilization is the available credit So if your report says you have $10,000 available, that's how much credit you can use based on credit cards, line of credits, things of that nature. You are going to want to stay at 30% of that limit, or in this case, $3,000. Would prefer you stay below $1,000, but that will be another goal as you're addressing your credit in 2023. Make sure you keep your utilization below 30%, preferably below 10%. Again, listen to our other video where I talk about strategies that you can use to lower your utilization. Step 5 is limit new credit inquiries. New credit inquiries are like gremlins. If you feed them too much by applying for too much credit too soon, they multiply and scare lenders away. Although credit inquiries only make up 10% of a credit score, this is important when, again, your focus is on building your credit score, changing your outlook, making sure you put in new habits. So you want to stay away from starting to apply for new credit unless absolutely necessary. And in the next step, we're going to talk about building credit history. When you can't get regular credit cards to build your score, it feels like you're stuck in Jumanji, doesn't it?
Welcome to Jumanji.
Well, don't worry. We've got a cheat code: secured credit cards and builder loans. Now, when it comes to secured credit cards, you do not need to go above and beyond. So if you're not sure, a secured credit card is backed by your own deposit. Meaning, if I take $200 to my bank and say, here's $200, I would like a credit card that is going to be a limit of $200 and is backed by my own money. Now, that credit card will be used regularly. I don't get to use the $200 that's there. A credit card has a limit of $200. And if anything ever goes awry, they have the $200 that they can use to take their money back. But if I use $200, which I never would, because I'm not going to go to 100% of my credit card. But if hypothetically, if I use that $200, then I'm paying that $200 back with my other money, not the $200 I gave them to secure the card. So when you are looking to get a secured card, you do not need more than $200. You can do 500,000, 15. There are some out there. You don't necessarily need it, because once you have that 6 months to a year, you're building out your history, you can go get the unsecured card, which is what you would rather have than a high limit secured card, because again, you're securing your money with that card. That money's tied up, and the only way you're going to get it is to shut that card off, which you don't want to do. You want to keep it to be able to build out that history. And then eventually, hopefully you can convert it over to an unsecured, and then they will give you your cash back. Another way is like self-lender or credit strong, where it's a builder or credit builder loan. So you're going to want to look into that. Make sure you check out the links below. We have the links there for you so you can check them out. But a secured builder loan is essentially you're going to set up, let's say, $200. Over the course of a year, you're going to be making payments into a kind of like a CD. Okay, those payments are going to get reported because you're making on-time payments every single month. And at the end of that term, you're going to get a lump sum back that you made into, of course, minus their costs and things like that. But that's going to help you with a loan. You're showing you can make payments on time, but then that money doesn't just disappear. You get the money back at the end of that term. That's going to be a credit builder loan. And look into Credit Strong. They have that. I like working with them. Very good product. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. Number 1, make sure you understand your credit report. Number 2, let's dispute those errors. And don't forget, go line by line. Take your time going through your credit report. Find those errors. Number 3, make sure you prioritize on-time payments. Set your reminders, do whatever you need to do. Don't be late. Number 4, let's do what we can to reduce that credit utilization. Get it down to below 10%. Number 5, let's limit those credit inquiries. You do not need them right now unless absolutely necessary. And step number 6, let's build that positive credit. Again, this is extremely important, especially while you're addressing negative. You need to make sure you have positive credit. And if you don't, it's even more important to build positive credit. Because what are they going to go by if you then have no credit? And as Dorothy said in The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. Well, there's no feeling like having a great credit score. So let's click our heels 3 times and get there together. If this video made you laugh or enlightened you in any way, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share. But most importantly, leave a comment. Let us know how we can continue to provide value to you and your family. Let's get it.